Imagine opening your eyes in the morning and wishing you hadn't woken up. You roll over, tangled in sheets still drenched in tears and mascara stains from the night before, wondering how you'll be capable of mustering enough strength to get out your bedroom door. And no, I'm not talking about the instant dread of getting up for school on a Monday morning. I'm talking a consistent ache that makes your legs feel paralyzed, and the cracking of your weak bones causes a pain so heavy on your chest that you feel helpless and incapable of taking even a few simple steps. Because although you've already slept for 12 hours, you feel as though a task as simple as standing up in the shower will make you fall over in exhaustion. This is only but one of the symptoms of the dark cloud I've lived under called depression, constantly casting its thunder upon my world and leading me down a pathway of pessimism, self-hatred, and eventually the urge to kill myself. And this may come across as intense and strong, but I've held this inside me way too long that when I hear stigma about mental illness that is wrong, it simply tears away layers at my already healing heart. Here's to the boys and girls who are told that depression isn't actually an illness, but some form of weakness that is caused by indulging in your sadness and simply refusing to suck it up and get over it. But let me tell you that feeling the need to drag a blade across your skin and watch the blood pour down your beautiful body takes more strength than any cloudless folk could ever comprehend. After months of thinking I was mentally insane, I sought for help and was finally diagnosed with major depression. And I found that I was often criticized for being ungrateful because I have too good of a life to suffer from such a pathetic illness. Enraged and engulfed in worthlessness, I questioned the stigma surrounding my diagnosis, and as I asked around, I was strongly discouraged by the answers that I found. Isn't depression just when you're really, really sad? I felt my heart ache as I looked into the eyes of this clueless boy who had been brought up in a world that would rather ignore than accept that 1/3 of the population suffers from some sort of mental illness every single day. I wasn't mad at him, and I certainly wasn't mad at me, but I was more than infuriated at our corrupted society. Depression is watching the world moving at a fast pace around you, but feeling your feet glued to the floor. Depression is pleading to go a day without feeling empty and miserable and wanting nothing more than happiness. Depression is listening to the voice inside your head telling you that you're selfish, pathetic, and worthless. Depression fills your body with guilt and convinces you that your life won't amount to any sort of success. Depression is not a fashion statement or a trait to hold above your head with pride. Depression is a painful disease that thousands make countless efforts to hide. Depression is a chemical imbalance of serotonin in my brain, and I refuse to be looked at with pity and disdain. So if you can hear me out, and please refrain from seeing my illness as a shame and start to applaud me for the strength I've had while enduring this excruciating pain. Here's to all survivors of mental illness, such as a good friend of mine who explained the state of anxiety as an instant state of panic and claustrophobia, leaving her with loss of concentration, lack of breath, and heaps of pressure on her chest. Here's to the man in the hospital who consistently spoke to himself in his hospital room, and as I tried to sleep at night, I'd hear his fists banging on walls in his own flesh, trying to escape from the nightmares from his past that felt so current and fresh. Here's to an extraordinary girl I met with bipolar disease, who went from extreme highs of excelling in university to simply collapsing on the floor into sobs a day later, begging to be set free. Here's to all of you heroes who are fighting the tedious and agonizing battle of mental illness despite the consistent stigma putting us down. But the war isn't over, as we need to keep speaking, educating, and shouting out loud until the stigma is abolished within everyone in this crowd. So before you tell me I have too good of a life to be sad, remember that you opened your eyes in the morning and we're thankful that you have.